So basically, the first and most important thing, why we need to learn Power BI, okay? And why there is a high demand. Two things to understand. Why we need to learn Power BI. And one more thing to understand is why there is a high demand in the market for Power BI compared to other BI tools. Okay, we have a lot of BI tools. We have Clicker, we have Tableau, we have Looker. The not Clicker, sorry, my bad. There is a Click, there is a Looker, there is a Tableau. There are other BI tools also, but a lot of people, a lot of companies are migrating from Tableau to Power BI, or otherwise, if they are using for the first time, they're using Power BI. Why? There is a high demand of Power BI and why we need to learn Power BI. The first question to answer, why we need to learn Power BI in the sense, everyone, including me, why I learned Power BI to upskill myself and to get higher positions in the company if you're already working in an organization. And if you're not working in an organization, as you can see in India itself, let me take you through the portal. I mean, in India, we have Naukri. Otherwise, let me type Power BI jobs for freshers or Power BI jobs. Let just type Power BI jobs. Okay, now we can see here in Bangalore itself, there are 12,535 Power BI job vacancies are available. Okay, now it might be different kind of jobs. It might be a senior Power BI developer. It might be for a freshers. If I open this, you can see here software developer, Power BI developer, Power BI developer, Power BI developer consultant, Power BI lead, and it's not a small companies also. You can see here KPMG, Wipro, Zenpact, Visa. Okay, see here, financial analyst, but he has to be having strong experience in Power BI and everything. Okay, senior Power BI engineering, which is company Mar Labs. Okay, senior Power BI, Bosch, Power BI developer, Landmark Group. Okay, so you have a lot of things you can see here. There are a lot of organizations who are doing. I mean, if I go company by company, you can see a lot of companies as, and there are almost 12,000 jobs, which is available in Bangalore itself. Okay, I mean, a lot of jobs might be, let's take, there are postings which has been done posted last and that it has not been continued. Let's assume that. Okay, in that particular cases also, out of 12,000, let's say 6,000 jobs are there only for Power BI, assuming that there are active jobs. Okay, assume that out of 12,000, 50% of the jobs are postings which has not been deleted or such kind of a posts as well. Let's assume that 6,000 jobs are there only in Bangalore itself. Okay, now why? What is the reason why there is a high demand of Power BI? There are multiple reasons. The first reason is because of the Microsoft ecosystem advantage. What is Microsoft ecosystem advantages? For example, let's say if you're working in an organization, okay, every organization will have Microsoft Teams, or otherwise for email they'll have Outlook, okay, and other BI tools. For example, let's say you are using Excel, you're using SQL Server, or you're using SharePoint, or you are using your Outlook, Teams, everything. So what company does is they'll buy a Microsoft package like your Dynamic 365 or anything. So in that particular package itself, you'll get Excel, you'll get SharePoint, you'll get PowerPoint, you'll get Outlook Express, you'll get your what you say SQL Server, you'll get your Azure and everything in your one particular Microsoft ecosystem itself. Okay. Now in this ecosystem, since Power BI is being developed, not it's not developed by Microsoft. Power BI is a tool which has been purchased, okay, by Microsoft. So it's a Microsoft tool. So when you're purchasing this ecosystem where you have all the email, Teams, everything, Power BI will be a part of that particular tool itself. No need to spend additional amount to buy any other third-party BI tool. Okay. So when it is coming part of your ecosystem, obviously all the companies will adopt of using the BI tool, which is Power BI, which is part of the package. Why you will spend some other money? It's like, let's say you have a black shirt. I mean, you are purchasing some kit, some gift voucher. In that gift voucher itself, okay, let's say simple example. So basically, let's say someone has given you a gift voucher of 5,000 rupees of any particular store. Now, what you will do, you'll go and redeem that particular gift voucher, or otherwise you'll just give additional. Even you have a voucher, you'll pay amount. No, right? We'll not pay amount. We'll use the gift vouchers first. In the same manner, whenever a company is purchasing Microsoft ecosystem, Power BI is a part of that particular package. So obviously, a lot of companies are migrating to Power BI. If they are using Tableau also, let me take my organization itself. So we have almost 10 clients where I've seen 10 clients. Out of 10 clients, 6 to 7 clients have migrated from Tableau to Power BI or from our product to Power BI because it's more eco-friendly, it's cost efficient. There are a lot of things to that. Okay. So this is one of the advantage because of the Microsoft ecosystem advantage. And what is the second thing? compared to other BI tools like your Tableau, your Click, or your Looker. Power BI is very cost efficient in terms of licensing, in terms of free. For example, let's say this is a Power BI desktop. What you have is here is a Power BI desktop. Now this is free. This you can download it. I can download it. Anyone can download it for free. Just going to the Play Store or to the Microsoft Store, whatever the store is there, you can just go to that particular store. You can download it and you can practice it. But this is not the case with other BI tools. Guys, BI is nothing but business intelligence tools. Okay. Now it's not something like that. Every time in an opportunity, you'll find BI, Power BI jobs. You need to search for a job, something like BI also, like BI manager. Let me type BI manager. Okay. So when you are looking for a jobs, business intelligence, BI manager, business intelligence reporting, it will be in different ways. Okay. Business intelligence search. Okay. And I can see here, whatever the business intelligence jobs, I mean, this is not coming properly. So whatever the BI jobs are also there, that is also related to Power BI, or it might be different tool as well. Okay. So that's one thing to remember. Now, compared to other Power BI tools like Tableau or your Looker or Click, even this Power BI desktop where you can practice multiple visuals, where you can upload the data, practice for your purpose, or you want to create a demo kind of a thing of the report, what you want to deliver. All those particular things, you can do it in the desktop. Okay. Now, this desktop is for free. I meant to say, this is for free in the Power BI, but in Tableau and Clicker, even this desktop should be purchased. It should not, it is not free. Only you'll have a free license, free trial for 7 days or 1 month. After that, you need to purchase even to practice as well in the Tableau and Looker. So in that particular case, this is cost efficient compared to other Power BI, other BI tools. Okay. And the third thing and most important thing, now here you can get the data from multiple sources. For example, if I click on more, you can see here, you can get the data from multiple sources. Your SQL Server database, if I go to the databases, you can see here SQL Server database, your Sybase database, PostgreSQL database. We will see in detail SAP HANA database. We will see how you can connect to this particular database and how you get the data in real time. We will see one by one examples. But just to see here, here we have a Microsoft Fabric. Okay, this has been introduced by Microsoft recently, not recently. This has almost been 1.5 2 years now. So this is a place where you'll have everything in a single place. Now, for example, if you keep in your resume that I have an experience in Microsoft Fabric, okay, I mean, it's like hot cake. I mean, if you say that if you worked on Microsoft Fabric and I got the data from Microsoft Fabric and everything, it's like hotcake. You get a jobs not only in India, abroad, anywhere, because this is a tool where you have SQL Server, Lakehouse, Warehouse, your SQL Server database, your Quell database, everything in a single place. Okay. Normally, how it works in the real-time environment is previously before Microsoft Fabric, we used to get SQL Server database. There is another PostgreSQL Server database, MySQL database, Oracle database. Everything is the same. Everything is the database which stores the data, and everything is SQL only. But the difference is, it's like, for example, you're purchasing one pen. You're purchasing it from Amazon, or you're purchasing it from any other, say, Flipkart or Myntra, such kind of a tools. It's same like that. SQL Server database is from one particular client. MySQL database is from other client. PostgreSQL database is from some other client. In the same manner, Amazon Redshift. This is also a SQL Server database, but it's been provided by Amazon. This is given by some other person. This is provided by Oracle. Everything database is the same, SQL only, but it is from different clients. Now, what Microsoft has done, instead of why you are using my tool, why I can't provide a database. So this Microsoft Fabric, what you're seeing here, you have Lakehouse, you have Warehouse, you have your SQL Server database, you have your Quell database, you have your data flows, Power BI semantic models. Everything is available in a single place. But normally in real time, what will happen? Database is SQL. You have your Lakehouse from some other person. You have your Databricks from some other person. Databricks is a tool which is provided by some other third-party client. Okay. From that particular client, you're getting the data and everything. But what has Microsoft Fabric done? It has thought, oh, you're using my warehouse, you're using my lakehouse. In this Microsoft Fabric itself, now there is a similar to Databricks, we have PySpark, okay, which is integrated with the Microsoft Fabric itself. So you can write here itself, everything is provided by Microsoft Fabric only. Now, whoever has purchased this Microsoft Fabric, by default, they'll get Power BI. only tool they can use. I mean, not only tool, they can still go with the third parties, but as a part of Microsoft Fabric package, they'll get Power BI semantic models, everything in a single place itself. So whoever is companies are migrating from Microsoft Fabric, they have no other tool. I mean, they have tool, but I'm saying they 95% of the time they'll be using Power BI as a BI tool only. Okay. Now going further, since this has been introduced only within 2 years, I've seen a lot of clients migrating from their particular third-party databases to Microsoft Fabric. Why? The same reason. Database is provided by one guy, SQL Server is provided by some other guy, and I'm purchasing Power BI from Microsoft. There are three parties, okay, here. Now, instead of three parties, why can't I go with a single party? Microsoft itself is giving everything now. Okay, so that's particular reason. A lot of companies are migrating to Microsoft Fabric. You'll be hearing this. I mean, if you would have already heard, it's well and good. But if you have not heard about this Microsoft Fabric terminology, you'll be hearing this lot. Now, in this Power BI, we'll be discussing about Microsoft Fabric. Yes, we'll be getting data from Lakehouse. How do you get the data from your warehouse? All those particular things we'll be seeing in detail. And when we are discussing about Power BI services, we'll be seeing about whatever is related to Fabric, related to Power BI. So all those particular things we'll be seeing those particular topics as well. Okay. So these are the multiple advantages why we need to learn Power BI, why there is a high demand of Power BI. One is your Microsoft ecosystem advantage, one is of your low cost licensing, and one is of your Microsoft Fabric. And there are a lot of other tools as well. If we keep on discussing, that is a separate class we can have for that. Okay. Now, coming back to our particular topic. Now, what is Power BI? As I mentioned here, Microsoft Power BI is a collection of software services, apps, and connectors that works together to turn your unrelated source of data into well-organized, visual, impressive, and interactive insights. Okay. Now we'll go step by step. I mean, to be in simple, Power BI helps you to turn your raw data. I mean, whatever we have in Excel sheets. I mean, in Excel sheet, how we have the data? We have in a very huge manner. Okay. So whatever raw data is available, that will be converting into meaningful charts, graphs, insights, and everything based on which, like this kind of visual, you'll be converting it based on which the business team can make better decisions. Okay. Now we have multiple sources. Like for example, in Power BI, you connect from cloud, you can connect from your web, you can connect your from the Azure database or any database. It's not only Azure, any database. You can get the data from your Excel, you can get the data from your SQL Server, you can get the data from any anonymous APIs or anything. API, you can get the data from your API, you can get the data from your GitHub, everything. There are multiple sources where you can get the data and you can modify the particular data and create a meaningful chart, something like this. Okay. Now, next, what we have is there are multiple parts in Power BI. One is there are three parts in Power BI, as I mentioned here. One is your Power BI desktop, which is nothing but the desktop what we are seeing here. This is the place where you do multiple visualizations. Like this is for the previous batch what we have done. So here, this is the place where you do multiple activities. 80% of the work will be done in the Power BI desktop itself. Okay, so that's your first place, Power BI desktop. And apart from that, we have Power BI services. Let me show that also. Power BI services is a cloud-based. Okay, this is a cloud-based platform. So this is a cloud-based platform where we'll be doing after we, I mean, we'll see in detail about this Power BI services. But one thing to remember here, Power BI desktop is for free. Anyone can download this. This will not do any costing. But whatever the work you have done here, for example, let's say we have done this particular work. So whatever work you have done here, if the people in your organization need to see that particular work, you need to publish that report in Power BI services here, so that here all the people will have access to this particular workspace where you have published this particular reports. So multiple people can see this. I mean, we'll discuss in detail, but just I'm saying this is your Power BI services where all the people in your organization can see that particular report, whatever you have developed. Apart from that, if you want to subscribe this report, I mean, every day morning, this report should go to the people whoever has asked for this requirement. It will go all these particular activities of scheduling the refreshes, everything will be doing it in the Power BI services. That's your second part. And the third part is your mobile dashboard. For example, let's say the third part, after you have developed a report, you have done some in Power BI services, you have done some scheduling, and there's a Power BI mobile dashboard. If someone wants to see in the mobile, so those particular things also we'll be seeing. There are three parts to that Power BI. One is your Power BI Desktop. It's a window desktop application which lets you build queries, models, reports, that visualizations. I mean, we'll see in detail about this. And Power BI Services also we discussed. Power BI Services is a cloud-based platform which allows us to create dashboards, set up schedules, data refreshes, all the data refresh, all the schedulings, all your, I mean, there are multiple things in Power BI Services. Okay, that we'll be discussing in Power BI Services. And the last thing, it's an application where the report, the same report, whatever you have developed, that how can user be seeing that report in this mobile dashboard and everything. We'll be discussing all these particular topics in our tenure of next 5 weeks. And as I said, the first part is the Power BI desktop, where you bring the data from multiple sources and you upload the data, create visualizations and everything. This is the place where you upload the data from multiple sources. You do your ETL jobs like your data modeling, data cleaning, all those particular things we'll be doing in Power BI desktop. After that, we'll be publishing that report into Power BI services. Now, this is the place where you subscribe the report, where you do a couple of modifications to that particular report, where you create a workspace, all those particular things, we'll be doing it in Power BI services. And the last part is your mobile dashboard. I mean, if you ask me mobile dashboard, this is as per the request. If the customer requires it, we'll be doing it in the mobile dashboard. Otherwise, we'll be not doing it. 90% of the times, our jobs end here only, Power BI desktop and Power BI services. Okay. Now, coming to the next thing, what is the Power BI desktop interface? Okay. Now we have we have multiple interfaces. Power BI desktop is one interface. We have Power Query is one more interface. We have Power BI services, that's one more interface. We'll be discussing each and everything in detail. The first thing is Power BI desktop interface. Power BI desktop is nothing but this particular desktop where you are seeing it playing. Okay. Now, first thing what we have is the ribbon. This is the ribbon where you have your home tab, insert tab, modeling, view, optimize, help, and everything. Okay. Now, this provides access to the key functions like you're importing the data, formatting visuals, and managing relationships, publishing reports. Everything will be available in this ribbon. Now, in your tenure of next 5 weeks, we'll be discussing about each and every tab. What is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of this? In insert tab, what is the purpose of each and everything? We'll be seeing each and everything. What is the purpose of each and every tab available here? And the next thing, what we have is the report view. Now, the first thing what we do in the report view is nothing but this is the place where you create multiple visuals. You can see here, right? Home page. I mean, we'll be discussing about visual. This is the place where you'll be creating visualizations and you'll be creating couple of DAX measures. Okay. Now in DAX also there are two things. One is your measure, one is your calculated column. We'll discuss about that. But in report view, this is the place where you create multiple visuals. Okay. And next thing what we have is the data view. Now, data view is the place, whatever the data you have uploaded from multiple sources related to that particular data, you will be able to see here. Okay. Now, for creating the visuals, you would have uploaded the data from your SQL server, from Fabric, from Excel, from CSV, from folder, multiple sources. Okay. So all those particular tables, all the particular tables, what is holding, that particular table is holding what data, that you will be able to see it in the table view. Next, coming to is your data model view or data model or anything. Okay. So here, this is the place where you create the modeling. Okay, let me show this what we have created already. Yeah. So this is the place where you create modeling. Okay. Now in this particular topic, we will be discussing about relationships, data modeling. What is primary key? What is foreign key? How you create a relationship between two tables, and what is your star schema? What is your snowflake schema? Everything that we'll be discussing in this data model. Okay. Now, this is the place where we create visuals. This is the place table view or the data view is the place where we see the data, what actually that particular table is holding. And this is the place where we create the data modeling and everything. Okay. So that's one thing. And next thing, page navigation. Page navigation is nothing but your navigator. If you click on the plus tab, you'll create one more page. Like you can create multiple pages like this. If I go to the report view, you can create multiple pages. If I click on this plus button, it will create one more new page here. That's your page navigation. And next thing is the dashboard or the canvas, whatever we call it. Basically, we call it canvas or some normal terminology dashboards also. Now, this is the place where you create all the visualizations and everything. Okay. Now, after that, what we have is the filter pane, visualization pane, data pane. Now, data pane is the place where you'll be able to see the list of tables or the list of queries, what you have created and what you are holding. For example, here you can see this are the list of tables. One I've uploaded. This is a DAX table I've created. one is uploaded from the SQL server, one is uploaded from the folder file, one is uploaded from the Excel. There are multiple sources how we uploaded the data here. All those tables data you'll be able to see here in the data pane. Next is the visualization pane. Now this is the visualization pane is the place where you'll be able to see multiple visuals. Not only this visuals, if you click on these three dots, you'll be able to see more visuals as well. Okay, I mean, I need to sign in. I'll just, yeah. Apart from this, you'll be able to see all visuals. Now we'll be discussing each and everything in detail. What is everything here? Now, after that, filter pane. Filter pane is the, I mean, you have multiple things. You have slicers, you have filters. Now we'll be having the filters. If you want to apply a filter to a specific visual or to a specific page or to all the pages, those particular activities we'll be seeing it in the filter pane. Okay, now if you ask me why it is not available here, the reason is, I mean, I have unchecked this. If you want to see here, I'll click on this. That filter pane also will be available here. Okay. So that's what the Power BI desktop interface what we have. Now, after that, end-to-end process. Now, in your 5 weeks, what we are going to discuss. Okay. Now, the first thing is, first particular week, what we'll see is, we'll be loading data from multiple sources, from your Excel, from your SQL server, from your web, from your folder, how to get the data from folder, how to get the data from your lakehouse, warehouse, from multiple sources, whatever is required for a real-time analysis. We'll be seeing all those particular connections and we'll try to get the data. And after getting the data, so the first week, what we'll be doing is we'll be doing all the ETL activities. Like example, we have loaded the data from your web, SQL, multiple places. Now, what we will do couple of transformations to that particular data. Like we'll be seeing the data quality, and we'll be seeing how you need to add a column to the existing column if you want to do any modifications, or if you want to add a new column based on the existing data. All those particular things we'll be seeing for each and every table. We'll be seeing what you have in the columns. For example, you want to remove the columns, everything. We will see what is transform tab is all about, what are the different activities available, different parameters available in this transform tab. What is add column? What are the different parameters in the add column? What is view tab? Everything, each and every topic we'll be discussing in details. So that's the first activity we'll be doing. We'll be loading the data from multiple sources. And after loading the data, we'll be doing transformation to that particular data. What are the transformations? For example, we want to create a calendar lookup table from scratch. We'll be doing all these transformations. From this particular column, we'll be doing a couple of transformations. You can see here, insert day name, insert start of the week, insert start of the month, insert start of the quarter, month name, everything. How you can do this particular transformation, that we'll be discussing in the first week of the class. That's almost 6 classes here and there. And after that, the next part, what we'll be doing is now the loading data is completed. We'll be doing transformations. Transformation is nothing but whatever we have done right now. I've shown you right now. We have loaded the data. We want to add new columns. We want to delete the existing columns, or to the existing columns, you want to remove the null values or duplicate values, or you want to see the column quality, all those particular things. The first 6 classes we'll be discussing about this particular two topics, loading data and transforming data. And the next thing, next 1 week, we'll be discussing about data model. Now, what is data modeling? Data modeling is nothing but now you have done the transformations. You have uploaded multiple tables here. Now, what is the relationship between these tables? What will happen if you don't give the relationship? What is the disadvantages? Why you need to create relationships? How you create relationships? What is primary key, foreign key? And if I double click on this, you'll be able to see edit relationship, how you can give the relationship, what is cardinality, what is cross filter function, what will happen if you keep this relationship active, what is active relationships, what is inactive relationship, all those particular things related to data modeling, starting from scratch to end, we'll be discussing those particular topics. And after that, the third topic, now the data modeling is also done. So we have done two activities. One is we have loaded the data from multiple sources and we have transformed the data, which is 1 week. After that, we have done the modeling. We'll see all the topics related to modeling. This will take 5 days of time. And after that, the designing section. The designing section is nothing but your view, a report view, what we have in the report view. Now, if you see here in the report view, now in this particular place, we'll be seeing all the visuals. What are the different kind of visuals we have here? All these particular visuals we'll be seeing when to use stacked bar chart, when to use the stacked column chart, when to use stacked 100% stacked clustered chart. Everything we'll be seeing. What is line chart? What is map? What is table? What is matrix table? What is card? What is new card? What is the difference between these two? What is KPI? Everything we'll be seeing. What is the differences? everything will be seeing each and every visual. If you see here we have discussed card, multi-row card. Here we have discussed table, matrix table. What is the difference between table and matrix table? How you can drill down? What is conditional formatting? What is the different kind of conditional formattings you can do? What is chart new? Different kind of charts, how you can do the legend and everything to segregate the data between different countries and continents, and what is field parameters. I mean, it will change automatically based on what is field parameters, what is line and donut chart, everything, all the visualizations, whatever we require. Apart from that, we'll be seeing couple of get visuals, more visuals. Apart from the visuals, whatever we have, we'll be seeing all those particular topics in the design section. After modeling, what we'll be discussing is 1 week, almost 7 days of time, we'll be discussing about DAX. Okay, before going to the visualization, there is one topic which I left out is DAX. We'll be discussing multiple topics in DAX. We have almost a lot of topics in DAX. We'll be creating multiple DAX measures. Apart from that, in DAX, we have calculated columns as well. In DAX, there are two things. One is calculated column, one is your measures. We'll be discussing in detail for almost 1 week for DAX. What is DAX? What are different operations you perform in DAX? All the functionalities in DAX. What are the different functions in DAX? That we'll be discussing for 1 week. And after that, at the end, we'll be discussing about this visualizations and everything. Now, that's the topic we have. Now, one thing, whatever we have done, as I said, 80% of the work is done in your Power BI desktop. We have uploaded the data, we have transformed the data, and we have done data modeling, we have done DAX formulas, whatever is required. And after that, the final stage, we have done the visualizations. Now, the last topic which we'll be discussing is the Power BI services. Now, this is the place where you'll be seeing most of the Fabric things, Fabric activities, as well as for the normal. If your company is not using Fabric also, this is the same way how you do that. Okay, the only thing is if you need to shift to Fabric, okay, we'll be seeing what are the license and everything, because this is not free. This is also free, but there are different functionalities. There is Power BI. I mean, if I talk about the license, there is Power BI free license, pro license. You have premium per capacity, you have PPU license, premium per user license. You have Microsoft Fabric license. What is different licenses? What is the functionalities of it? Each and everything we'll be discussing at the fifth week, which is not mentioned here, but we'll be discussing about all those particular things in the fifth week. Okay. Now, this is only related to the desktop. What I've shown here is only end-to-end Power BI desktop activities, loading data, transforming it, modeling, designing it. In the middle, there is a DAX functionality and share and collab. Share and collab is nothing but you're publishing it to the Power BI services where your organization people also can see that particular report, what you have developed. Okay. Now, the same thing I've mentioned here, different activities, Power BI query, Power Pivot is nothing but your data modeling and everything, what we have seen, the relationships, what you give and everything is your data modeling. This is your Power Pivot. Power Query is nothing but your ETL tool used for data cleaning. I've showed you, right? Transformations and everything. Power View is nothing but where you build charts and different kind of visuals. And Power BI services is the place where you share, collab, and subscribe. A lot of activities are there that we'll be discussing. After that, we'll create a visualizations, multiple visuals. One thing to remember here is you need to have in your, I mean, if your laptop is purchased after 2015, well and good, no problem. Your GB should be more than 1 GB. I mean, your physical memory should be more than 1 GB. How you need to check that? Just type system information in your search bar, you'll get this particular thing. And just check your available physical memory is greater than 1 GB. That's it. Okay. So if it is less than 1 GB also, it will work. But the problem is it will take a lot of time to analyze or you to get the data or everything. Okay. So that's one particular thing. And before going to the questions part, now two things I'll clarify. One thing is you have the curriculum here. More than this curriculum, we'll be discussing. This curriculum is a little bit old, updated, but we'll be discussing, as I said, for next 5 weeks, whatever we'll be discussing. I've just mentioned you. First week, we'll be discussing about the transformation tools and everything. We'll get the data from multiple sources and we'll do the transformation and we'll see how you load the data and everything here. The second week, what we'll be doing is the data modeling part. After loading the tables, what is the different kind of relationships, how you can give the relationships, all these things, snowflake schema, star schema, everything we'll be discussing in detail. The third week, we'll be discussing about the DAX functionalities, not third week, 3.5 weeks, almost here and there. And 4.5 weeks, we'll be discussing about this last week will be, I mean, not last week, almost fourth week and fifth week starting, we'll be discussing about Power visualizations and everything, different kind of visuals. And the last week we'll be discussing about Power BI services. It will be almost 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks. It will be taken. Okay. Now coming to the curriculum, you can see all the 5 weeks, whatever we'll be discussing here. And every day, whatever the topics we discussed in the class, you'll be provided with the recordings of that particular class. Okay. Now you'll be having recordings of that particular class, not only during the tenure of the class, after the class is completed also, you can have access to that particular videos, whatever we discussed, and you'll be giving access to that. If you by any chance you missed one day class, you can go through this particular recordings, whatever is being discussed. Okay, that's one thing. And second thing is, here you'll be having the data set. For example, let's say we are practicing with some data set for data modeling or for data visualizations or everything. So those particular data sets will be available in the OneDrive. I mean, once you enroll for the course, you'll be given access to this particular OneDrive onto the video recordings. Here you'll be able to see whatever we are discussing in the class, access to that particular data set, and I'll be giving notes each and every topic. Let me segregate it ascending. Yeah. Okay. Now, if I go to the installation guide, for the first class, we'll be seeing the installation. If I go to the Power Query, you can see the notes, introduction to Power Query. We'll be discussing one by one like this. What is Power Query? What is this thing? Each and every topic we are discussing week by week. All the data topics will be available here. What is data modeling? Okay, you can see here what is data modeling. And we'll be having notes. What is primary key? What is foreign key? What is data models? Each and everything we'll be having related to that. If I go to the DAX, you'll be having DAX. What are the different functionalities in DAX? Each and every DAX functionality you'll be able to see here. And we'll be discussing in detail about each and functionality. What is sum X? Each and everything notes will be available here. Each and every notes will be available here. Afterwards, we are discussing about visualizations. You'll be having notes related to that visualizations. What is card? What is the use cases, when to use it, where to use it, what is the definition, what is the snapshot, what is the multi-row card, what is the purpose of it, what is the difference between card and multi-row card, what is the table, what is matrix table, all the visualizations, what are the visualizations we'll be discussing, all those particular notes related to that will be available here as well. Now, once you enroll this, you'll be having access to all these particular topics. And I've given interview questions. This is not a generic interview questions. From last 8 years, whatever the interview questions I have faced, so those particular things, normally I maintain a document related to that. I mean, 80%, not 80%, 95% will be covered here itself, interview questions, because I've attended almost, and what are the questions I asked to the people who I hire. So all those particular things are attached to a particular Word document, and you'll be able to get those particular interview questions and everything. So you'll be having all this and additional data set also I'll be providing. For example, if you want to practice apart from the data set, what I've provided, I'll be providing you with additional data set as well, where you can practice it and everything. And what are the outputs we are seeing here that will be available here? Power BI practice output, Power BI group batch, whatever we are discussing on day-to-day basis, right? That also will be available here for your purpose and everything. Okay. So, and one more thing to discuss, whatever the topics we are discussing in today's class, I mean, in the next 5 weeks or 5.5 weeks, all those particular things will be leading to PL300 certification. Now, if you know already, it's well and good. But if you don't know what is PL300 certification, it's a certification that tells you, it is a certification that is provided at Microsoft. It will tell you that, okay, you're knowledgeable in Power BI. I mean, it's not necessary to do PL300 certification, but if you do that, it is well and good for your resume and in your company. It's something like, for example, let's say I know English is telling something, and you passed the 10th class English subject is some other thing. Okay, it's the same manner. You know Power BI, it's well and good. Okay, but if you're already working in an organization, it's well and good. But you're looking for a job, if you're a fresher, then please do this PL300 certification, because in your resume, if they see this PL300 certification, that's it, certified by Microsoft, stating that you know you have a good knowledge about Power BI. Okay, so I suggest, even I also do this PL300 certification every time, because this is a renewal process. Every time the Power BI gets updated, every year you need to renew this. Okay, so that's one thing you need to do it. Now, if you ask me, will we cover all the topics to write this particular exam? Yeah, we cover more than that particular topics, whatever in this next 5 weeks to do this particular certification exam as well. Okay,